Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been some time coming. I'm a resident of Sanders County. I own a ranch in Trout Creek, Montana, and I've lived on that ranch since 1948. I'm one of the old timers, and you can see it in my appearance, but it's been my pleasure to know the people of Sanders County, and I feel so blessed by God that I endured 2 trials in Sanders County that were senseless accusations by the federal government when a grizzly bear attempted to kill me that they had planted in my hunting camp, and they prosecuted me and the 2 guys that killed it with bow and arrows. There was not a gun on the mountain. Those juries stuck with me with common sense. They ferreted out the truth, stood by me, came back not guilty the first time, and awarded damages of $107,000, successfully sued the county attorney who prosecuted the case. And I'm going to tell you something. I am the most blessed man who could ever prematurely have expected the people of the county to stand by you with 2 full juries and come back not guilty 1 and award you damages against the government. Thank you, Sanders County people. This is a new generation. This happened. I've been at war with this agency for 35 years this year. It's been brutal. It's been a lot of suffering. It's been to the point of where I didn't think I could go any further. But we had the 2 trials. I won the damages. And I'm going to tell you people something. You stood by me, so I stood by your principles, your rights, and I sued the government, won $107,000. They appealed it to Supreme Court, state of Montana, and we won that case. They said in court that that was an endangered species which trumped my right to defend my life. State law, Ryan was alluding to it, I can name it, I can tell you the number. 87-3-130 gives you the absolute God-given right to defend your life, the life of your neighbor, and his property or yours. That's the way it is. And if you want to see what your rights are, go to Supreme Court, pull up Hill versus Montana. There's your rights, folks. It was about 6 months ago. I sensed a vacuum in the nation for some organization that will not pick up guns and go challenge anybody. That's not the old West. We have court systems that should work for the people. And this Supreme Court ruling proved to me, gave me hope, that maybe Congress, even with their low acceptance level, would realize that if they would review their policies of land management in the West, they could stop people dying out here. That's worth asking them to make a little bit of energy so they're not leaving dead people behind, isn't it? These people have to step up and do what they're obligated to do and stop this chaos. So I talked to some very good people, and we all got together, and I agreed that I would put together a group called COWPO, Coalition of Western Property Owners. That doesn't even say it all. But that's who we are. That's where the crimes are being committed on our properties in the West. And if we don't push back, you're going to sit there and watch us lose our rights, and the day we lose our rights, you just lost yours. I want to tell you a little about this bear story. I've got 3 things that happened in my life I got volumes. Each individual letter certified with the federal government. I was a professional guide and hunter, an outfitter. This is 55 years. Me and my mother were the only two outfitters in west of Missoula, Montana in 1962. She had been an outfitter since 1938. She also had been the first woman packer to furnish the supplies to the Forest Service, of all people, on the mountain lookout towers. I have newspaper articles of rangers in the past commending this slip of a girl that showed up with the life-sustaining support that these people needed in the towers. They were very proud of her. Something turned 180 degrees, and when she passed away at 81 years old, she had an outfitting business. She was allowed 2 people for 7 days annually to sustain her livelihood. That's how things have changed, evolved, and they've made victims out of people who had earned respect, dignity. They dashed it all and victimized. And I always said in 1984, when the federal government got authority to regulate the outfitting industry, I said, these people haven't got the slightest idea what I do when I'm on that mountain. And I made the mistake of telling one. But let me direct you to the back table back there, the cowpoke table. And I got a little vein here and wrote the story of Billy Hill, but I didn't know how else. There, she's holding one up back there. There's a box of these pamphlets, and what I'm going to go through real quick here, there's a box of them there. I hope they last a while. There's some left. Help yourself to them, because I document every single thing. For 35 years, I'm probably as well documented a combatant as you're ever going to see. I even documented my break time when I wasn't fighting with them. But 1983, I'm a core driller by trade from years gone by in my youth, and my whole family did that, core drilled for mineral. So in 1983, my mother and I were outfitting. I was in the business now. Her and I were the only two doing it down that I knew of. Everybody was laughing at us. These guys are crazy to even cater them people, babysit them around. Well, anyway, we decided to core drill our property, the ranch, which is private property. And the guy that drilled it, he ground the core. If you know what that means, you don't get it out of there to where you can break it up or anything. It all comes out like powder. So he told my mother, well, there was no core when we drilled your ranch, but pay us our money. Well, she's getting older, and 83 is the year my father died. My sister died into domestic abuse. My mother adopted her 4 children. Now these nephews and nieces are all of a sudden legally my brothers and sisters. And my mother doesn't have a husband, so when the boys are starting to get some size, I got to go out and pull an ear or two, so like a father. So I never know from day to day which I am to them. Except that I told him I'm always the boss. But anyway, getting back to this mineral. So it ended up, we didn't get any core. So we went through life looking at each other saying, when the fight started with Forest Service and they started harassing her about her cattle, she'd say, what did you do to make them mad? And I'd look back and I'd say, it must have been you. I don't know of anything. Well, a year and a half ago, and a friend called me and he said, did you see the new environmental impact statement about that thick for the Rock Creek mine? And I said, no, I have not. He said, you need to see it. And in this pamphlet back here, they have the whole valley with the Rock Creek mine ore body, and right in the middle is the Hill Farm, and it's named. It's the only private property named. Green is the outcrop of the Rivette Formation. Yeah, they got the Hill Farm green. X in the legend says copper silver deposit. Yep, X over Hill Farm. You go 2 pages further, And it says, the ore body contains between 229 million troy ounces of silver and 2 billion pounds of copper. Something's starting to bring back to 83 here. It says, because current metal prices are higher than when the 2005 mineral resource estimate was completed, total mineral resources may be greater and metal grades higher than estimated in 2005. I honestly believe my mother died not knowing why she was beat up so bad by the government, and I think somebody wants our place. This is in their document. I have no idea what's under my property, but they do. Something's wrong with this picture.